Are you looking for the best gaming headsets? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best headsets on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Beyerdynamic DT 900 Pro X. The Beyerdynamic DT 900 Pro X should please most people willing to pay for a capital and nice pair of headphones for gaming purposes. It localizes sounds accurately and delivers the kind of spacious soundstage expected from a good open-back model. Bass is a little more present here than on many open-back headphones as well. There still isn't much in the way of deep sub-bass, unsurprisingly, but there's enough warmth to give stuff like explosions a bit more juice without muddying up the mids. Details in the mid-range get the most emphasis overall, but they're clear, and their forwardness isn't a bad thing when you're trying to listen for enemy players in a competitive FPS like Counter-Strike 2 or Apex Legends. The treble isn't pushed quite as hard, but it's neither overly recessed nor harsh. All of this helps the DT 900 Pro X sound detailed but not boring. It's the kind of sound that plays nice whether you're trying to win a multiplayer game or take in a more cinematic single-player story. And when you're not gaming, you get an enjoyable profile for music. The whole thing is built well, too. The DT 900 Pro X will clamp down slightly harder than average if you have a large head, but it balances its weight well, and its wonderfully soft velour pads go a long way toward keeping the pair comfortable over hours-long gaming sessions. It comes with 2 detachable cables, including a 3-meter option that's convenient if you sit far from your PC. It can't fold up, though. At number 2. Turtle Beach Atlas Air. If you do want a dedicated gaming headset with a built-in mic, we love the Turtle Beach Atlas Air. It's a bit of a rarity, a wireless model with an open-back design. It sounds much wider, airier and more natural than the vast majority of its peers as a result, creating the sensation that your game is happening around you instead of feeling confined in your head. It's also better than most at positioning in-game effects in the right places. The Atlas Air has a mostly flat audio profile by default, with a jump in the treble that lends extra crispness to things like cymbals. Like most open-back pairs, it's fairly weak in the low bass region, so gunfire and EDM lack the kind of muscle you'd get with good closed backs. The DT 900 Pro X still sounds more dynamic, with more detail in the mids and stronger bass that makes footsteps and explosions more intimate. That said, the Atlas Air holds its own surprisingly well. It's about as spacious, and what basses here doesn't come off as blobby. It's an easygoing listen, and the greater sense of spatial awareness provided by its design makes a real difference whether you're listening for enemies in Counter-Strike 2 or basking in a giant boss battle in Final Fantasy 16. Going from a pair like this to a traditional headset often makes it sound like a chunk of the world has been lopped off. At number 3. Astro A40 TR. If you'd prefer to save some cash and buy a decent wired gaming headset, consider the Astro A40 TR. It's another open-back pair that sounds more spacious than most traditional gaming headsets and generally locates in-game effects accurately. Its sound signature emphasizes the bass, which gives explosions a smooth and satisfying thump, but it doesn't overdo the low end the way many of its peers do. The A40's audio quality is still a step behind the DT 900 Pro X, HD 560S, and Atlas Air, especially for online shooters. Next to those headphones, its veiled treble and pushed upper bass/low mids can blunt footsteps and other fine details. Its soundstage is narrower by comparison as well. But it's better balanced than most gaming headsets, especially those in its price range. It does well to envelop you in whatever's happening on screen. Comfort shouldn't be an issue, either. The A40 is on the bulkier side, but its weight is evenly distributed, and it doesn't clamp down overly hard. The fuzzy earpads are soft and breathable, while the ear cups are roomy enough to fit larger ears. The headset has the usual open-back shortcomings, though, as it leaks a bunch of sound and blocks almost zero outside noise. The mostly plastic design looks gamer-y and lacks built-in volume controls, too. Nobody would call it premium. Still, it's not flimsy. At number 4. HyperX Cloud Stinger 2. You won't find a good open-back gaming headset for less than $50, so if you're on a tight budget and need a built-in mic, you'll have to compromise on sound quality. With that in mind, the HyperX Cloud Stinger 2 is a decent buy for $40 or so. It gets the comfort part right, as its pleather ear cups don't clamp down hard and have enough soft padding where it counts. Its mic makes voices sound relatively clear and accurate as well. In fact, the mic is a clear step up over the Astro A40s, though it's not detachable. The Cloud Stinger 2 has a V-shaped sound signature, which is to say it exaggerates the bass and treble while recessing the mids. It's not bad for what it is, and it'll definitely give action scenes a heavy dose of boom. But the upper bass is bumped to the point where it may get tiring over time, and you lose some of the fine details you'd hear on our other picks. Since this is a cheap closed-back headset, the Cloud Stinger 2 doesn't sound nearly as wide as the pairs above, nor is it as nuanced about positioning sounds accurately. All of that makes it less than ideal for competitive games, though it can still sound fun with many other titles. At number 5. Astro A50 X. The Astro A50 X costs an eye-watering $380, so we can't reasonably recommend it to most people. However, if you can stomach the price, this is a uniquely convenient wireless headset for hardcore gamers who own a PS5, Xbox Series X/S and gaming PC. That's mainly due to its included charging dock, which serves as a unified S/V station for those three platforms. By chaining HDMI and USB cables from a PS5, Xbox and or PC to the A50X's base station, you can connect the headset to all three devices simultaneously. From there, you can swap to your active machine just by pressing a button on the right ear cup. This is a pain to set up, as shown in Logitech's 12-minute video tutorial. Connecting both consoles and a PC requires 7 different cables, a few of which aren't in the box, plus some futzing around in each system's menus. It's not totally seamless once everything's up and running, either. We had to manually change video signals when switching from a PC to a console, though not when doing the inverse, and manually change our PC's audio output when we wanted to listen through desktop speakers. All of this requires you to keep your gaming hardware in the same area, too,